Welcome to Yuno and Kenzo Koga.
Where ancient wisdom meets modern life. Subscribe now and awaken with us.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here again to unpack some really compelling ideas we've gathered for you. And let's be honest, for most of us, life just feels like, well, constant noise, doesn't it? You've got notifications pinging all the time, that endless scroll of opinions online, just this feeling of being pulled everywhere at once. It's exhausting just trying to stay afloat in all that information. But what if, and this is counterintuitive, what if the quiet, the thing we often try to fill up, is actually where the answers are? We're talking about silence today. And ancient wisdom, especially from Zen traditions, suggests something powerful. Silence isn't empty. It's actually full of insight.
It really is a fascinating paradox. We're sort of wired to think we need more information, more talk to solve things. But this deep dive today, looking at these teachings, explores why, well, maybe consciously choosing stillness, stepping back from all that chatter, both outside and inside, why that might be the most powerful shortcut, a path to, not just calm, but real clarity, resilience, and living more intentionally. It helps you cut through the noise to what actually matters.
Absolutely. And I think the best way to really grasp this is through a story, a really great one. It's about a restless mind, a quiet lake, and some, well, incredibly simple wisdom from a master. So let's start by grappling with this idea. Silence isn't just nothing. It's a presence. In our world today, we fill every gap, don't we? Music, podcasts, scrolling, always something. It's almost like we're afraid of what might come up in that quiet. But this ancient perspective insists we're missing out. That Zen view says clarity lives in the silence. That's where the answers can bubble up.
It's a fundamental shift, really. And there's this wonderful Zen story that captures it perfectly. Picture a young monk, right? Very restless, mind racing, always looking outside himself for peace. He goes to his master, probably quite agitated, and asks, "Master, how do I find peace? My mind is just so loud, always reacting, always chasing." And the master, instead of some long lecture, he just takes the monk to a lake, a very quiet, still lake.
Yeah, I can just see them sitting there side by side, total silence, just watching the water. And you can imagine the young monk, right? Used to all that internal noise, the world's noise, probably fidgeting inside, impatient, wanting to do something, find the answer now. But as they sat there, just observing, something started to shift. As the lake's surface calmed down, ripples fading, reflections getting sharp, the monk's own mind began to settle too, almost mirroring it. That constant urge to react, it started to lessen.
Exactly. And that settling points to something crucial about our inner world. The master's teaching then was so simple, but wow. He finally said, when the water is disturbed, you cannot see your reflection. When your mind is disturbed, he continued, you cannot see the truth. He explained that silence is what allows the water to clear, and that reveals your true self. Now, this isn't just poetry. It really resonates with how our minds work, doesn't it? That constant reactivity keeps our higher brain functions busy managing the immediate stuff. But stillness, silence, it lets the brain shift gears into reflection, deeper problem solving. It's literally the brain clearing its own waters, and that's where you find flow. Creativity, by focusing on the process of being still, not demanding an instant result.
That's such a powerful image. Clears things up instantly, that analogy. And it's not just about seeing clearly, is it? This is where it gets really interesting for me. We often think silence means weakness, like you're not doing anything, you're passive. But Zen completely flips that idea. Silence isn't just peace. It's seen as a source of real power. Think about that. Power in stillness.
Yes, and it's important to understand how that power works. In silence, you start to hear the things the noise usually drowns out, those quiet gut feelings, your inner wisdom. You begin to see the patterns, the real reasons behind things that distractions hide. And this lets you develop a critical strength, the ability to respond thoughtfully, instead of just reacting on impulse, whether it's to something outside you or just your own internal churn. It's the difference, really, between being tossed around by every little thing and being grounded, deep roots. This is where that inner resilience comes from, that ability to handle negativity, pressure, without getting swept away. It's about choosing not to react to everything.
That makes so much sense. You think about those times in your own life when you snap or say something you wish you hadn't or just feel completely overwhelmed. That's usually pure reaction, isn't it? Driven by the noise, the pressure. Silence offers another way, like a pause button we forget we have. And shifting from reacting to responding, that changes everything. Your interactions, how you feel inside. It lets you kind of ignore some of that immediate negative static and choose a better way. That's real strength.
Exactly. And the wisdom traditions really emphasize these effects. They say silence heals anger. It gives you that crucial space to process instead of just blowing up. Your thinking brain stays online. It reveals wisdom. lets you access those deeper insights usually lost in the mental noise. And I think this is beautiful. It deepens compassion. For others, sure, but also for yourself. You're not constantly judging yourself based on reactions. When Zen monks meditate for hours, it's not about escaping, not at all. It's about seeing things more clearly, the world, themselves in it. And that clarity, that ability to know what's real noise and what actually matters, that's the foundation of resilience. Building that inner calm, that discerning presence, not reacting to every bit of negativity.
Okay, this sounds amazing, incredibly powerful, but the big question is always, what does this mean for you listening right now? How do we actually take this ancient idea and use it in our, super busy, noisy lives to get that calm presence, that ability to not react all the time? Where do we practically start?
Right, that's the key question. And the good news is you don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. These traditions offer really concrete, doable steps. Anyone can start integrating them. First one, and maybe the most fundamental, start each day with just 5 minutes of stillness. Seriously, just 5 minutes. And it's not about forcing your mind blank. It's just quiet presence. Find a spot before the phone, before the emails. Just sit. Maybe notice your breath or sounds around you. Your mind will wander. That's okay. Gently guide it back. No judgment. Think of it like setting your inner compass for the day, letting the water start to clear before the day stirs it all up. It sets a calmer tone, shifts you from reactive mode.
Okay, 5 minutes. That feels manageable. What's next? Second, pause before responding in conversations. This is huge, and you can feel the difference immediately. Someone asks something, maybe something difficult comes up. Instead of that instant reply, that reaction, just take a breath, a second or two. That tiny pause creates this space for understanding it. It shows you're actually listening, processing. It lets you process, choose a better response. It can totally change the dynamic of conversations. Less tension, more connection. It trains that non-reactive muscle.
I can see how that would work. That little gap makes all the difference. It really does. And finally, third, when things feel totally overwhelming, chaotic, seek silence and overwhelm. Think of this as your emergency reset button. Feeling that stress spike, that urge to just react. Step away if you can. Doesn't have to be a forest. Just step outside. Find a quiet corner. Sit under a tree. Walk slowly. Maybe just put on noise-canceling headphones for a few minutes with nothing playing. Let silence be your companion, just for a moment. It's not about solving the problem right then. It's about hitting reset, letting the mental water settle so you can come back calmer, clearer, less likely to just react. It helps you see what negativity you can actually just let go of.
What I love about these is how simple they are. Accessible. It's not about hours of meditation unless you want that, but these small, consistent shifts, little pockets of quiet that add up. It's not about perfection, right? It's about choosing again and again to create that space, cultivating calm, non-reactivity bit by bit, bringing that ancient wisdom right into our modern lives, focusing on that process of being present. So as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe the core thing to remember is this. Noise shouts, it demands attention, demands reaction, but silence whispers. It offers truths, but quietly. We get so caught up in the shouting, the pressures, the internal noise, but the real wisdom, that clarity we crave, often it's in the whisper, or even in the absence of sound altogether.
Exactly. And if you can learn to tune into that whisper, to cultivate that stillness inside, silence really can give you what you need, clarity to see your way, peace when things are turbulent, and that deep inner strength to live with wisdom, to turn anger into understanding, reaction into response, overwhelm into resilience. It's like a hidden superpower just waiting there.
So here's something to think about as you go back into your day, back into the noise. What truths about yourself, about your life, about the world? What might be waiting there for you if you just let your own waters clear? How much clarity, how much insight are you potentially missing by constantly reacting, always being pulled by the next thing? What could unfold? What peace? What understanding if you just chose sometimes to pause? To simply be present in the quiet.
Thanks for watching the Yuno and Kenzo Koga channel. If this video sparked something within you, feel free to like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more insights bridging Eastern wisdom and modern life. Until next time, stay present, stay curious, and stay connected.